GarageBand sequence of Hound Dog. Go to your Suko email and you'll hopefully find an email from me, either this one or this one. I'm looking for the Hound Dog Scratch 90, and you want to download that. Once it's downloaded, you can drag it to the desktop and quit the internet. I kind of put it this way to keep it organized. Then you want to open GarageBand. If it's not in the dock like this, you'll have to go to Applications, and you'll see it in there, and you can drag it to the dock yourself. Nice to have it down there. And then open it. The default thing is called the Piano Project. You choose that. Give it a name. Hound Dog Kim. Desktop is good. It's in C major. And the tempo is 4/4, but I want to change the beats per minute, the metronome mark, and take it down to 90. Because if it's on 90, then the metronome will line up with the scratch vocal. I'll create a project. And resize the window down here. And drag this little MP3. Alright. Just drag it into the bottom window. And probably it'll not be at the beginning. You have to pull it so that it starts right at the top of the song, far left. I put this up on top. This will be the framework for everything else. Have a grand piano below it. We want to add some more tracks. So the easiest way to do that is just to create a new track down at the bottom here. Software is what you want. So just press return, you got that. Do that a few times. And then we have to change the instrument so that we can have the instruments of the band. It says grand piano, but we'll go to the instrument browser and choose a drum kit. How about a jazz kit? You see that changes the instrument and the sequence. And we need a bass, so we'll go to the basses. I choose fretless electric bass. And then to play the chords, I like saxes, so I have to go to woodwinds. Tenor sax, my favorite. And so we have our basic band now, which will be drummer, bass player, and some sax players. And we're going to record a 12-bar loop that's going to line up with the vocals, starting with the kit. The kits are mapped for a 61-key keyboard, which would go from not the bottom C, but the C here, up to this one. If the volume for your piano is up, then you're going to hear mostly the piano sound. So you have to take the far left volume all the way to nothing, and then you'll just hear the drum sound coming from the computer. The notes that I like best are this C, not the bottom C, but the one above it, a bass drum, a snare right above that. So that's my basic beat is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cymbals are on the black notes above that. We have I like the B flat and the A flat. And if I put that together with the left hand, I'm going to start on the word hound. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. If I record, I hear the vocals start, and I'll come in on the word hound. So I'm going to record now. My advice is practice along with this video before you try recording it into your own sequence. Just make sure you feel comfortable. But here I go. Here I'm pressing record. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. And we stop. When they said you was high. You're going to stop right before the vocals begin for the next verse. And if you do that, you notice that it ends on bar 14 and hopefully begins on bar 2, and that makes a 12-bar loop. 2 through 13 makes 12 bars. And now, since we're not changing sounds, we can get rid of this window by going to the little blue info button on the left, on the bottom right. Gives you a little bit more room. You can kind of see the whole sequence at once. Kind of nice. You can change the zoom with this slider on the bottom window here and move that over so you get a reasonable view of the whole thing. Next, do the bass. The bass sounds an octave lower than it's played. So I want ba, bum, bum, ba, ba, but I have to play that up here. So I'll I'll make a recording, you practice with me and then try it yourself. Go back to the beginning every time, you have to remember. And then, here we go. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, back to C. Now we're going to go to G. Just once, down to F. And back to C, 1, 2, 3, and we stop. When they say it was ends on bar 14. But you notice I got a little bit of a problem. It's not beginning on bar 2. This is actually easily fixed. Rather than, you could just record the whole thing again. Or you could open the track editor, which is here, and that will give you a view of the notes you played, piano roll form. So you can see that the problem is that it begins a little bit before the first beat. I don't imagine it even sounds that bad, but listen. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Fact is, the vocals are a little bit ahead of the beat right there, right? But in order to fix this, all I have to do is take this note and drag it till it's on the downbeat. And then that's going to begin right on the second bar, which is where I want it to begin. And then after you do that, I can shorten this until the recording, the region, is also starting on the second bar. And this is worth doing because it makes it a lot easier to loop everything if it adds up in exactly the same way. And so it's very useful to once in a while go into this track editor. I'll hide it for now. And do the saxes. Be the chords. We need G, A, C, E. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. And do that. 4 bars, and then we go to the F chord, which is just moving the pinky down. And then we go back to C. Up, eventually to G, which is just a step up. Down to the F. And back to the C once. And we stop. So practice along with me. I'll record it now. Go back to the beginning. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. When they said you was hot. Ends on bar 14. Begins nicely on bar 2. So I got my 12 bars in all 3 instruments. Once I have that, then it goes really quickly. I can select Jazz Kit, or select this region. Make sure that the start bar is right at the end. Then I go Command C to copy this, and Command V to paste it. Put this back at bar 14. Select the next one. Command C, Command V. So I've just copied the bass again. And then same thing for the saxes. Command C. Put this on 14. Command V. And then I can zoom out a little bit. And you can see that now I have a band that goes under the entirety of the vocals. Now, I'd love to be able to speed this up. We're going to do that by going to the very bottom here and selecting Project. And then this is at 90, I can go all the way to 180, and that will be twice as fast exactly. And so here, I'll play that. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. So, you notice that the scratch vocals stay at that same slow speed, and they don't match with the faster speed of the band. So we got to get rid of these scratch vocals and make something that can be sped up. So I'll go back to my recording speed, 90 again, has to be 90. I can get rid of the metronome, I don't need it anymore. Got plenty to keep the time in the band at this point. But I need some way of knowing when to start, since I'm going to be playing along with the vocals. So I go to Control and turn on what's called the count-in. This will give me a little tiny metronome beat at the beginning of the recording. 1, 2, 3, 4. You ain't nothing. Then I'll be able to play with the vocals. I have to go back to the info column here. And let's choose an organ. Jazz organ. And then we'll record the entirety of the vocals. I have to mention also that this organ, once again, sounds an octave lower than you're playing, so I would go up to the top of the screen, to the right of it. This is true a lot with MIDI. You have to kind of be flexible with what octave you're playing in. So I will start this, and you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never gonna have it. There ain't no friend of mine. And we do the second verse. When you said it was high class, that was just a lie. When they said it was high class, that was just a lie. Well, you ain't never gonna have it, and you ain't no friend of mine. Notice that this one, I release it before the downbeat, and if you really wanted to have that add up, you could extend it just with blank. If you were worried about it looping later, you're not actually going to loop this in the same way you did the others, so it doesn't matter that much. Then, if you mute the vocals from the top, you're probably done with them. And you can speed it up to any speed you want. And let's try it at 180, twice that tempo. Go back to the beginning, and you have this. I can make that organ a little bit louder here.